Good morning, Sister Gabriella.
Good morning, Patrizia.
Thank you very much for accepting this time to share this time with us. And we are going to talk about which is the impact of COVID on the human trafficking. Sister Gabriella Bottani, she's a Comboni sister, and she's in charge, she's an international coordinator of the International Network Against Human Trafficking, Talitha.
Thank you, Patrizia, for the invitation to share what is going on during this emergency time due to the COVID, the pandemic, and how this is impacting on human trafficking, but also in the work of Talitha networking around the world. It's not really easy to say what is going on, mainly due to the lockdown. Most of the sisters are experiencing to stay at home. Only in the last few weeks, I had communication, for example, from Thailand or sister in Europe, that the lockdown is less strong and religious life is starting to going back to the activities, however, always considering the restriction of the given by the government to contain the COVID. We are observing, first of all, it's very difficult to say how it is impacting on trafficking directly, so how many people are recruited. What we are observing everywhere in the world is an increase of the vulnerabilities exploited by traffickers. And of course, the vulnerabilities of women, of men, many people lost their job, are unemployed, and this is an area that we are observing, and we are afraid that could become really a stronger area for recruiters to involve new people in exploitation and trafficking. The other thing that we are observing is increasing of violence against women, violence against children, either for physical violence, including sexual violence in domestic context. So an increasing of reports of sexual abuse, and and also violence. Violence is not trafficking, but in many cases one of the main causes of bringing people to accept whatever suggestion in order to escape a situation of violence. So this is a concern. What we observe also, and it is in the services we are providing to survivors, that during the COVID, many of the people we are attending or serving, they lost their job, and there are many of them are women that are on a process of social rehabilitation, attending training, or working, many of them in the area of the services like restaurants, bars, or caring of elderly people, and many of them lost their job. And they see on that like a break of the process of rehabilitation. So this is a very painful situation, and also a very difficult situation to live with. And also the lockdown is bringing many difficulties in the shelter, where people are experiencing like a second phase of being really close into a structure. So the experience of a trauma is becoming much difficult to be healed, because it is like a trauma over another trauma. And also many sisters losing all the support by volunteering people, and increasing of expenses due to new protocols of hygiene, or whatever, food are prices for food are increasing. So it's really a huge challenge that is affecting daily life of the shelter led by sisters.
So we can say that actually this situation is not just increasing the is getting worse the level of health, but also, you know, the level of relationship that might affect also the trafficking?
I think that COVID is making more clear, and I believe that it was also before, we have the healthy social relationship are part of the healthy systems. So we cannot separate a healthy relationship by a healthy body. So we are one body, we are a society, and everything is affected. I hope that this lesson could be one of the most important lessons that make us more aware how important it is to care not only the body, but to care also the social body and inclusive in an inclusive way.
This is why we talk about integral human development. May I ask you how the mission of Sisters has been changing because of this new situation?
It is, I think, is a very interesting question. I think that the mission is the same. What is changing is the modality. So the mission is to keep awake hope and with the people, and to be a sign of the love of God among people. And what is changing is the modality, and it is we are very much in touch with the people, visiting them. This personal contact is very important, and we were forced to enter a new reality that it is the virtual world, doing that using WhatsApp, using social platform, or and it is requiring us more formation and to think in a different way. Also, the use of the social media to continue our mission in this context.
Yeah, I believe that. Sister Gabriella, what are the plans for the future for Talitha? I know we are all aware, because we see that there are a lot of plans, projects, and activities. Can you just tell us 2 or 3 of them?
But the first one, we have a very important document, and it is the document of the assembly. It is available on our website. So we have the priorities to bring forward, and let me enter in the very practical ones. There is formation, networking, communication, and then we have chosen 3 areas. One is advocacy, then we have prevention, and services to survivors, involving survivors also more directly in our network, giving more participation, promoting more participation. About formation, we did not stop the training for Talitha cum leaders. We started in February at the vigil of COVID, the second course. We have 36 participants. We were expecting 25, but we received so many requests that we moved from 25 to 36 because we had more than 50 requests from all over the world. So we are continuing online. We are we concluded last week the interview with all the participants, and I was expecting maybe someone will not be there, because with the change, they were all present, all participating, all so motivated that we, the coordination team, we were really very impressed by
Which is the goal? Which is the goal of this course?
The goal is to offer formation for a leadership role in anti-trafficking inside of the value of Talitha cum, and also to be part of this big networking in order not to to start parallel, but to coordinate also the diversity of the activity that religious life is implementing throughout the world, but with concept of leadership role in anti-trafficking.
That's right. That is very important. You
Yeah.
know, leaders are important to lead the process, to nurture the process. You know, I feel, Sister Gabriella, looking at all the activity that you bring about, that actually Talitha Kum is really not just an organization, is a place, a space of healing at the different levels. I don't know if you want to comment something about that.
Yes, I think that it is, yes, I agree with you. It is also my experience. It is a healing process, not only for the survivors of people suffering trafficking, but also for us as religious women, also a healing process for religious life, where we can really overcome all the things that are dividing us and the competition issues. So it is requiring a healing process of to introduce new elements and new paradigm in our way of experiencing sisterhood and to give value of the diversity of the charisms in the church.
Yes, and I know that within the local and regional network, you also have men, religious, and but also lay people very involved and committed against human trafficking.
Oh yes, and in some region they are continuing. I had news, for example, Asia is organizing an online platform. They were not able to organize their gathering in Indonesia in June. And Latin America is working and implementing more online activities among the coordinators of the different networks in Latin America, and the same is happening with the Talitha International Coordination Committee, giving us the opportunity to gather more frequently than before.
Sister Gabriella, we know that you spent many years in Brazil before coming back Rome for your role at the USG level as Talitha Cum coordinator. May I ask, in your opinion, is there a special case for COVID in the Amazon area? It's something that should worry us more.
The situation in Brazil is very painful. COVID spread out quickly, and what I think in Latin America also the impact of social policies and healthcare policies impacted very strong on that region. Not because there was, but because they do not have this kind of policies, and the change with the new president impacted really very, very strong, and some of the social and healthcare project bringing also support in regions like Amazonia were stopped by Bolsonaro short before the outbreak of the COVID. So the main difficulties continue to be the access to the healthcare for everybody. And the most affected are indigenous people in the region, the ribeirinhos, so people living along the rivers, and the quilombolas, so the descendants of the African slaves brought into Brazil. So there are discrimination continue to be one of the main elements affecting Latin America, and this is also spreading out throughout the world. It's not only there, to be honest.
Yeah, we are able to listen to stories and experiences told by our sisters there. So it's really a painful situation also in Peru and Mexico and other countries. Thank you, Sister Gabriella. Just the last question. We know that the July 30th is the World Day Against Human Trafficking at the UN level. I know that you are in the priorities that you share with us. There is also the advocacy and lobbying actions. So can you tell us more about how Talitha Kum is going to plan to celebrate this year?
We try to join two elements. First of all, to overcome the diversity between men and women, so to give voice to women leaders and in an interreligious context. So we are asking women of different faith tradition to take stand and to say why they are supporting. So we are collecting and there are really very interesting women, and they are accepting the invitation. So stay tuned and follow us, and you will see who will join us for this action for July 13th.
Thank you, Sister Gabriella. A challenge after another. So not only human trafficking, but also interreligious dialogue. And if I'm not mistaken, you have in your website that is www.talithakum.info the possibility to download the wonderful documentary Wells of Hope. That is the name of the Talitha Kum Network for Middle East. Am I right?
Yes, you are right, mainly in Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. And I got today a communication from Sister Kalaya in Thailand, and she was visiting today the Buddhist nuns to implement and to strengthen dialogue and collaboration with them.
So, Sister Gabriella, together as women against human trafficking, I think this is the stronger message that we can give to sisters and share with others within the church.
Yes, together as women leaders against human trafficking.
Thank you, Sister Gabriella, and we wish you the best for your work.
Thank you very much.